Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, it's that time of the year again where we rank the rare recruits over here on One Piece Treasure Cruise. Now, in today's video, we are focusing on the global side of the game, but at the end of the video, I will create a couple of little tiers for the Japanese characters, the rare recruits that are available on Japan that aren't available on global. But, like I said, we are focusing mainly on global today. Now, the downside to me only doing this like twice a year means that there are a lot of rare recruits in the game, and I hope you guys are in for a long one. It means that I have to redo it every single time. So if you guys are enjoying today's video, make sure you go down there and smash the like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, I'll leave a little card at the top of the video for you guys. If you guys want to check out last sort of like 6 months ago's tier list, but this is sort of an updated tier list on what is going on in both global and Japan at the moment. Before we do begin, I do want to give a huge shout out to the OPTC tier list maker as well as the OPTC database for images provided. Links for both of those will be in the description below, so make sure to go check them out if you want to make your own tier lists. Use the database. The database is really helpful. And just like my previous tier list, we have the similar tiers. We have the God tier, which are amazing characters. If you can limit break expand them, or they have a limit break expansion, definitely do that. For you guys that don't know, to get the silver keys, you mainly get them through Garbs challenges. So complete your Garbs challenges every month, and you will get an abundance of these silver keys to help fully limit break expand some of these rare recruits. Limit break plus worthy, obviously, like some of these characters may be amazing, some of them might be very good, but that doesn't mean they're God tier characters. It just means that they have a very good limit break expansion, or they are very good characters that you should look at limit break expanding. The next tier is very good. That's sort of just to break up the good and the niche category a little bit. Niche is sort of like when the content like requires you to use that character. And the final tier being support is just like level up their support, because like everything else about the character is absolutely dookie. Some disclaimers though, this is just my personal opinion by playing the game. Characters that I like to use, and the thing that I rate characters on, rare recruits especially, is their usability. Like, how useful are you going to use this unit, and how many situations are you going to use this unit? That comes down to stuff like class, color, content. There's a lot of different variables, but the main criteria is what they actually do in terms of their special ability. Their sailor abilities come into a play as well as if they have switch abilities as well. So with that said, let's dive in, because there's a lot of rare recruits, and I'm going to try and tear through this as quickly as possible. I will miss characters, and I do apologize for that, but please let me know in the comment section below if I have missed anything, or if there's something notable that I've just sort of skimmed over. I do love to hear everyone's opinions. There is no unwarranted opinion. Just keep it positive. Remember that this is an opinion-based tier list, as well as hearing everyone else's opinions. So just remember to keep it positive, but do not be afraid to speak your mind, as if you disagree with me, I'm happy to hear that as well. I'm a very open person. The last thing before we rip in is I am going to sort of forget characters here and there, so just bear with me as I might have to look some up on the OPTC database. But I do remember what most of these characters do, and this is sort of just looking at my playstyle as well. And with that said, let's dive in. Alright, this Ace, amazing support, 1.3 color affinity for quick characters at the final stage. This Shanks is Dookie. Actually, that's something I forgot to mention. If you don't see a character on the tier list by the end of the video, if you skip to the end of the video, now I totally understand, because it's going to be a long video, but please don't ask where characters are. They're not there because they suck. That's the short answer. I will just remove them, but if you watch the whole video, you'll understand why I'm removing them. But if you don't want to, I totally understand too. Maybe just hit 2 times speed and just like be on your way. This Robin has a 1.3 times attack boost to in characters. Very good support. The Luffy's not good. Lion Song Zoro not good. This Nami, color affinity for in 1.3 on the final stage. Usopp, Sanji, Marco. Who's that? Jozu, Vista. This Isu has a support, but I don't know how great it is, so I'm going to remove him. Blamenko. No Blamenko. Law, Basil Hawkins, Killer, you rogue. This Beppo, 1.3 times color affinity to slashes and strikers on law characters, very good. Kid, 1.3 color affinity on the final stage to strength characters, very good. This Apu gives a Dex Orb, great for orb manipulating characters, very good. X-Drake, Bonnie, Beach, Jinbei, however, suck. Most of these characters are outdated, so like I'm going to flick through them fairly quickly. The Nojiko, no. The original Junior, Pell, no, not Pell. All of these characters kind of suck until we get to Whitey Bay. Whitey Bay's got a great support. 2 turns of Blind and Despair on slasher characters. Very good. Oars is not good. Koala's not good. Hack's not good. This Invinkov, poison removal on Luffy's very nice. Inuyasuma is outdated. This Kaku was niche on like Hody teams for speed farming, but nowadays he's just not used because free-to-play characters are better. Caulifla is definitely niche because she has a 100% chance of removing damage, so that can be used. This Jabra has an okay support, but like don't really worry about it too much. The rest of the CP9 aren't good. all of the original, those original units, they're not great as well. This Sugar, however, is niche. She can completely kill an enemy when they're below 20% HP. Was very, very good for Ambush Garp. Very, very good for Ambush Garp. The rest of the Dressrosa batch is not great. The Time Skip batch is just pretty how you doing nowadays. We don't have to worry about those characters. The rest of the Donkornox Pirates aren't great, and the Dressrosa units aren't very good. Abdul and Jeet, though, actually are pretty niche. They give cooldowns on a 6-turn cooldown for slashers, as well as strikers, but, like, the big reason you want them there is for slasher cooldown. They're great for, like, speedrunning Roger teams. These Dressrosa characters aren't great, except for Kyros. 2 times attack boost on Rebecca units when you use a special, which is really, really nice. The Strong World units aren't great until we get to King Punch. King Punch is pretty niche. He's great for speed farming teams, because he has, like, starts with his special if you limit break him, which is great. As for the rest of these characters, not very good. The Whitebeard batch, B2, not good. The rest of the Strong Hats, not good. Actually, this Smoker is pretty niche. He has the Captain Swap ability, which can be C play. 2 turns of Captain Swap to get around those nasty defects is actually pretty good. Lafitte, 2 turns of Bind and Despair on Blackbeards, which is always going to be useful because Blackbeard is the main antagonist. This Shiryu is actually pretty niche. Damage reduction. I think he does healing as well as poison removal, so he's actually pretty niche himself. This Kobe, I think, has 3 turns of attack down on Garp, which is a pretty good support. The rest of these characters are just not that great, but this Nami is our first God tier unit. Time Skip Nami. 5 turns of paralysis, 5 turns of special bind, and removes paralysis by 1 turn for the sailors. Very, very, very good unit. I don't know if I would limit break expand her, but she's definitely God tier. This Sanji has a really good support, Despair and paralysis by 2 turns on Luffy, Zoros, and stuff like that. The rest of the time skip units aren't that amazing. As for the Fishman batch, they're not great. This Zeo is kind of niche though, 2.5 times chain lock. He does have the remove sound effects debuff. So he's okay. Like, he can have the Hody support, so like he's okay. This Neptune is an XP booster, so like if you are missing Jack, he's your next best option. The rest of the Fishman batch isn't that great though, as well as the Sabaody batch being not that good as well. We've got the Zhao batch, not that good. On to Kuma now. Kuma, I would say Kuma is very good. Mainly because he has 7 turns of blind removal, 7 turns of despair. And he has double special activation, so he's very good. This Lucci is not that great. This Mr. Zero has a very good support. The rest of the batch is not great though. The Raizo and the Kanjuro though, they both have very good supports. 2 turns of blind and despair, and they go on like Kinemon and Okiku and stuff, and then 2 turns of paralysis and special bind. Very good supports. This Frankie has a pretty good support too from the 20th anniversary, as well as the Usopp not having a bad support. But you really don't need, like, that Usopp support isn't used that often, but still, it's if you can like level it up, I would. This Jinbe, however, is very underrated. Like, I don't think he's underrated. Like, he gets enough recognition, but adding 0.2 to the chain multiplier when used as special is really, really nice for powerhouse and fighter characters, especially with the attack down chain like multiplier debuff that Japan just got as well. Very, very good. So Ivakov's not good. Hannibal's great for V2 Magellan with poison conditional. The combination of these 2 units here is actually really good. Now, normally you use this as support and that as the running. But if you use these 2 characters together, you can actually get like a lot of like good stuff. Defense down, conditional boost, attack boost, full border orbs. Very, very good combo. The Boa Sisters I'm talking about here. The Beppo, if you hit a perfect on Law, you can remove Threshold, which is great. This Sanji has a great support, as well as the Nami. Nami gives cooldowns at the final stage. No. Does she? I'm thinking of the Int Nami. I know Sanji can completely remove the poison, which is great. But this Nami, I'm pretty sure she does like damage reduction, actually, now I'm thinking about it, as well as something else. She's got a decent support, I know that, and I've used it quite a bit, but I just cannot remember off the top of my head right now. Damn. Moving on, we're going to go through the Dressrosa batch. They're all not great. The Germa kids, you could easily make an argument that they're niche if you are running something like Judge. But, like, they're so outdated now and you need skulls to get them good, so, like, screw that. Bellamy, very good support, removing Threshold and defense up or damage reduction by 2 turns on Dofi characters. This Viola actually is very good. She, like, rotates block orbs and she removes paralysis, I'm pretty sure, by 3 turns. I don't really use her that often, but she's a good unit. Rebecca is not great. This Senior Pink completely removes damage nullification, so that's always nice. Alright, this Treble, definitely Limit Break plus worthy. 4 turns of the damage reduction, defense up, threshold. if your captain, if you have a full driven team, he gives like 2 turns, 2 cooldowns to your captain, which is great for stuff like versus Kainu, as well as being a 2 times attack boost. 2 driven characters, very, very good. Goes down like 9 turns as well, I'm pretty sure, with his Limit Break expansion. Really, really good unit. Definitely Limit Break expand him. Koala's got an amazing support. This Nami has a very good support. On paper, she's really good, but like I'm only ever using her for a support. This Carrot's actually pretty good. She's a Chain Locker. She's Free Spirit and Powerhouse, which is like sees a lot of play, as well as Strength. Shirahoshi is god tier. I love this Shirahoshi. 5 turns of Paralysis, Attack Down, and Special Bind removal. Very, very good units. Cerebral and Free Spirit as well. Amazing classes. Very, very good character. This Marco is amazing. Chain boosts if you have like 3 strength characters. Bind removal as well as damage reduction. Really, really good. The rest of his batch is kind of dookie, however. This Heen is very good. 2 times color affinity to Quick and Psy units. Where this Sengoku is Limit Break expand worthy for me. Despair removal, Orb removal. Orb boost, as well as attack down removal. Very, very good rare recruit. Goes down to like 10 turns of cooldown. Great Limit Break plus character. The rest of the Whole Cake Island batch is not that great though. Besides, like, this Brook is okay. Like, he's actually, yeah, he's good. Block Orb manipulation and color affinity is always nice on a very low cooldown. And he like does damage too, which is great. This Pedro can be an attack boost and orb booster, so he's pretty good as well. Dice is very good when he works because he's got barrier removal. He can be a rainbow attack booster as well, as long as your captain is quick or strength. This Baccarat, though, is definitely Limit Break plus worthy. Paralysis removal, attack down removal. She does damage. She's an orb booster if your captain is quick or int. You can use the Tessera support on both of these characters, so that's why they are so good. Her Limit Break expansion goes down to like 8 turns or 7 turn cooldown. She's amazing for Revolution Army too. Tanaka's not great though. Karina though, Karina's probably amazing. Like, she has like mad damage reduction, adjacent orbs. She's very, very good. Block orb manipulation, resilience removal, very, very good unit. Brule is not great, but Amunde is very niche with a 50% damage, like HP cut. Bobbins is a god tier. Any character that can remove defense up, damage reduction, or threshold is going to find their way into god tier. But not only that, Bobbins is a slasher, he's a free spirit, and he removes attack down, and gives adjacent orbs. This guy does like everything. He's such a good rare recruit. Definitely, like, I don't know if you need to Limit Break expand him, but like, definitely get him done. Oven, no. The 5+ Germa, again, you could argue they're niche, but like, you have to skull them. It's not worth it. The support of Red Leg Zeph is very, very good. 1.5 times color affinity on Sanji's to fighter characters. This Pudding, Limit Break expand worthy. 4 turns of Bind, Paralysis, and Despair removal, I'm pretty sure. She also changes orbs into her orb as well, which is great orb manipulation if you can abuse that. And she goes down to a very low cooldown, so the downside is it's only 4 turns. Baron Tamago is trash. Peckham's can completely remove defense up, like, so I guess that's pretty niche, but like, there's other characters that do it better. The Wako batch just aged so badly. They're all pretty much dead. Same as Scarlet and Indigo. Smoothie's Limit Break plus worthy. She has double special. She can remove 2 turns like Burn, Bind, Despair, Paralysis. Very, very good rare recruit and orb manipulation as well. Definitely Limit Break plus her if you need to, but don't make it a super priority. Perispero is a god tier unit in my eyes. His double special activation makes him so damn good, getting the cooldowns for strength, dex, and quick, as well as color affinity, so you can use it on multiple stages. Very, very good unit. He's also cerebral, which a lot of people sort of forget about, which makes him very, very strong. Cracker's pretty much the same as Pedro. Really, really good, depending on like your captain. Daifuku's actually, like, I use Daifuku quite a bit. He's powerhouse. He's like on a 6-turn cooldown, which is great. And I'm pretty sure he has like damage reduction removal by 2 turns, I think it is. As well as defense up removal. Yeah, and then he has double special activation, so he can remove 4 turns. He's actually amazing. He's not as good as Smoothie, but like, he's definitely an underrated rare recruit. Powerhouse and Driven as well, so the Driven tag. He does damage too, so you can use stuff like Smoker, which is awesome. He manipulates orbs too, so you can also use Dofi. Very, very good unit. Aladdin is basically only ever used as support. I wouldn't prioritize it, but like, because this Praline is god tier, that's what makes him so good. He makes the other side the orbs you need for Jinbei, but Praline, not only does she heal, she removes the 5 turns of defense up, damage reduction, and threshold. She's a cerebral unit. She's a powerhouse unit. She is very, very strong. Very, very, very good unit. Amazing rare recruit. Wadatsumi sort of sucks though. This Hachan is very good. If your captain's powerhouse, he's a self-proccing conditional. He can rotate adjacent orbs into recovery too, so there's also that to get around hunger, which is nice. But his support is mainly used on Nami. This Kami she's okay, I guess. I guess if we had another tier called okay. we could kind of slide her in there. But honestly, like, on Japan, I'm never going to level her up, so don't worry about her. This Chiffon has a great support for Beige characters, namely, like, Legend Beige. You can abuse, like, you can sort of abuse her special. I think there was, like, a cheese with her special, though, but she's just not that crash hot. Onto Iron. Iron is a god tier unit. Double special activation of Blind Despair by 2 turns, as well as damage reduction and defense up by 2 turns. She's incredible. Slasher and Int as well, which is 2 very good classes and colors. The rest of these characters, Stussy's not great. Barbaros is not great. Opera's amazing, provided you have double special. He does damage, which is good, and then if you have an orb boost, he's color affinity, and then, because he's got double special, you can actually get both, which is really, really nice. Galette is Limit Break plus worthy. She gives 2 turns of cooldowns. On a 6-turn cooldown, it starts with her special. She's also a 3x chain locker, as long as your captain is quick or int, I'm pretty sure it is. Very, very good rare recruit. I would definitely Limit Break expand her. She's really, really nice. This Flampe's got a good support for Katakuri and Big Mom units. She, like, makes perfects easy to hit and whatnot. Montador is amazing. He does, like, defense up, damage reduction, special bind, and burn removal by 4 turns, which is great. He's driven, he's shooter, he's strength. He's amazing for verse ace. He was amazing for bullet. Very, very good unit. Strusen's kind of niche if you need the recovery orbs, your block orbs, as well as bind and despair removal. Ideo's not good. This King Punch is actually, like, he's pretty niche. Like, mainly because Driven have just gotten so good on Global. He can be a 2x orb boost if the enemy has defense up, and I did use him on the Hawkins Forest on my Bonnie team, Bonnie Big Mom team, so there is that as well. The 6 or the 5+ Germa, the V2 Germas, again, like, no one's running Jumanji anymore, but you could easily argue they're in niche. They just take up too many slots for me to put them there, but, like, I don't really care. Daz is 4 turns of the defense up, damage reduction, threshold. Amazing rare recruit, very, very good. Hyozu is Limit Break plus worthy, special bind removal and despair removal, and he does, like, a bunch of damage. He's probably, like, very good, but his Limit Break key makes him so good because he has fear. So definitely Limit Break expand him. Kaku, another Limit Break plus worthy character. Bind and attack down removal. He has the same orb manipulation as Pudding does. If he could just get to the front of the goddamn list, that'd be great. And then you can also use, like, Smoker and stuff as supports. As for Lucci and Kaku, they're actually very good, mainly because they're a 2x powerhouse booster as well as slasher booster. They have a good switch ability too. Invinkov has one of the best switch abilities in the game, like paralysis removal as well as damage reduction. 5 turns of bind, they remove sound effects, they heal. They're an amazing unit. Very, very good. Definitely get them done. You don't need to Limit Break expand them, but if you can be bothered, go for gold, because they just get such a big recovery buff. The Smoker, Tashigi, Croc, and what's her name? Robin is just not good. The Reverie batch aren't that amazing besides Carousel. Carousel is a god tier unit. Free Spirit, Cerebral, 2 of the best classes in the game. Special Bind, Special Cooldown, Sailor abilities, has Fear. That combination is just, like, unparalleled. An amazing, amazing unit. Like, definitely god tier. Definitely god tier. This Kobe's good. Paralysis and Despair removal, I'm pretty sure he has. And he has the remove sound effects Sailor ability, which makes him quite good. And he can, like, nullify damage from Dex and Strength units, I'm pretty sure. This Viola's okay, but you don't ever really use her. This Bonnie has a good support as far as I remember. For, like, Kuma, I think she removes, like, 5 turns of bind. This Chopper was actually pretty good when he first came out. He's still pretty good now. I'm pretty sure he does, like, bind removal and something else. He came out alongside Bullet with the Stampede batch. He does have quite a good Limit Break key, Paralysis, Despair, and he removes the Chain Lock debuff by 5 turns. So that's actually pretty good. Removing Chain Lock's great. Chain Coefficient Reduction, not so much, but Chain Lock, definitely viable. This Robin, honestly, like, she's very good, actually. Mainly because she's a Robin unit. I'm pretty sure she locks orbs, as well as being a 3x color affinity to the what's it called batch? The colors of Strength, Quick, and Int that bullet boosts. Pretty good rare recruit, mainly because she locks orbs as well. I guess you could probably just argue that she's just sort of good. I actually want to say this Chop is very good, because, like, Chain Lock, the 5 turns of that, sorry for knocking my table there. The 5 turns of that is actually really, really good. The Brook's not so great. The Zora I never used. The Stampede Nami, though, definitely a Limit Break worthy character. She's another unit that has the Special Bind and the Special Reverse sort of combination, but it's only for Psy and Dex, and Psy have access to Liberal Hind, so the Special Bind isn't as useful as something like on Quick or, like, on the Cerebral, like, on those sort of classes. But it's still very, very good nonetheless. She has bind removal, I'm pretty sure, as well, so it's a very good unit. This Frankie on paper is great, but just not used that much. This Jack has a good support. This Hold'em's good because he has barrier removal, but like I just never really use him too much. He is a chain locker too. Speed's not good. Koala, Reiju not great. This Dofi is actually pretty niche purely because of like this support. You can make use of that for the resilience removal, then defense up and threshold. It's pretty good on Dofi on Revolutionary Army 2. This Okiku Limit Break Plus, where she removes Blind and Despair, locks orbs, and color affinity. She has double special activation. Very, very good rare recruit. I don't know if it's out on global, but it's definitely out on JP. So definitely look at doing that if you've got the option. Otama can give recovery orbs to Big Mom and Luffy units, pretty good. The Choppermon and the Bone Kichi's not that great. Usohachi's a god tier unit, another one of those units that can do 5 turns of damage reduction, threshold, and defense up. But he also does cooldowns to your entire team. Strength, Free Spirit, very, very good classes. And he gets Fear with his Limit Break Key. So once Limit Break Key comes to global, definitely look at getting this guy done because it's very, very nice. The Frankie's not great. The Carrot's not that good. Alvita actually, like, she has a good Limit Break Plus. I wouldn't, like, prioritize her. I'd put her, like, back here somewhere in terms of priority, but nonetheless, like, she's good. Damage reduction. She also does a chain buff mechanic as well. And she gets she's blind removal, damage reduction. She does damage reduction, and then if you have 3 more decks or in characters, she boosts the chain. I'm pretty sure. What does she get from her? What does she get from her limit break? She gets fear, so she gets fear reduction as well, which is pretty good. But like, again, she's a character you'd look at like sort of down here for her limit break expansion. But she's probably the best Alvita in the game, so there's also that besides the limited rare one. This Tashigi's like, she's okay. Like she's like, you're never really using her just because like legends do it better, but she's okay. Don Krieg and Jin is another god tier unit. I love this unit. I use them in so many situations. 20% damage reduction on switch, paralysis removal, defense up removal, 2 times orb buff, powerhouse. Very, very good combinations. Django and Kuro are not that great though. This Croc has an amazing limit break expansion. He's an orb booster as well as, I'm pretty sure he's like paralysis removal as well as despair removal off the top of my head. I do remember using him for Dofi 2. He does damage reduction, resilience removal, and he locks slots as well as being an orb booster. Very, very good limit break expansion with his shipbind removal as well. But the other stamping unit being Buggy is just way better. Paralysis, attack down, special bind removal. He has fear resistance. He's amazing on driven teams. He's amazing on shooter teams. He's amazing on strength teams. He's just an absolute god tier unit. Definitely get him done if you have the materials. This Invenkov's amazing. Special bind, and defense up removal. Very, very good. When the limit break expansion comes for this Invenkov, if it hasn't actually come already, that's another one that you should be looking at as an option for limit break expanding. No, it hasn't come just yet. But yeah, blind, special blind, defense up by 5 turns, and changes unfavorable T&D and recovery into matching orbs too, which is really, really good. This Heracles is actually pretty good, provided you can fit the requirements. He's another orb booster, removes poison and stuff as well. He's very good for strength and side teams. The Kuma's not great though. This Boa is actually very good attack down removal as well as special bind removal, I'm pretty sure it is. She's very, very good. This Law is amazing. 5 turns of blind, despair, paralysis. He does damage. He's on such a low cooldown in his Law. Free Spirit slashes, very good colors and classes. This Enel's niche purely because he's just so good in Rumble. That's the only reason you want to level him up. This Dofi is actually very good. Double special activation for defense up, damage reduction, 2 turns, as well as special bind removal as well. You slap on this Bellamy support, and like you are hunky-dory, my friends. This Dofi is very, very strong. Very, very good. I think he's cerebral as well. Driven cerebral, which is great. This X-Drake, he's pretty good. He has the chain lock removal by 5 turns, I'm pretty sure it is, or it might be higher. He can also give cooldowns to, this is page 1, sorry, not X-Drake. He can also give cooldowns to strength and dex characters by also remove sound effects and burn, and attack down as well, which is really, really nice. He's got a very good support, and that's pretty much the main place I use him. But this X-Drake, I guess is like, he's good as well, purely because he's such a high orb booster for, I want to say he's niche though, this X-Drake, just because like, the remove sound effects is such a niche debuff, and you mainly use him for his support, the attack down removal. But this X-Drake's the one that does the chain lock removal, as well as being that orb boost, so he's actually quite decent. Anyone that can remove chain lock is just really nice, like this Carrot, wherever it is I put that Carrot, this Carrot here, this X-Drake's very, very good, and this Chopper is very, very good too. Moving on to this Luffy. This Luffy's very good. 2 times attack for fighters and free spirits. He does cooldowns as well, which is really good. This Sabo is just good, though. He does the chain lock thing as well as changing adjacent orbs, as well as being a chain booster, which is nice. He's about to get his limit break expansion as well. Yeah, he does the 5 turns of... Oh, he doesn't do the chain lock, though, so that's why he's only good. If he did the chain, like, lock, he'd be very good, but yeah, look, it is what it is. This Caesar's not that good, neither is the Invicov from the, Sugar Batch, but this Bonnie is actually good. She gives that clock buff and gets the carryover effect of an attack buff to quick, so that's something to note. Rebecca. This Rebecca, I love this Rebecca. She's a god tier unit. She does 7 turns of Special Bind, 3 turns of Color Affinity, and I'm pretty sure she does something else. She has Fear in her Limit Break expansion as well, so just be mindful of that, as she's just an amazing rare recruit. I definitely look at doing her. She also removes barriers by 1 turn as well, which is something to note. The Robin, amazing rare recruit too. She has Ship Bind removal, and she does the 3 damage reductions. This whole batch that came out with Bowl was absolutely amazing. The Viola does the attack down, as well as being an orb booster for 2 turns, provided you hit a bunch of perfects. Oh my god. Like, this batch that came out with Boa, like, they hit the nails on the head with these 3 units right here. Very, very good units. This Nami is pretty niche. She does cooldowns, burn, bind, and despair, I'm pretty sure. Double special. The Beach, however, that came out alongside her is just, honestly, like, not that good. What's it called, Beach? The Strength Beach. The Halloween Boa, she's actually pretty good. I want to put her in good. She does bind and threshold. It's not a combination you see too much of, but she's okay. The Halloween Buggy, though, is amazing. Defense up removal and special bind removal. He's very, very good. I think he manipulates orbs as well, if I remember correctly. Very, very good unit. Moving on to the big dogs now, though. We are just going to go like this, just so that way we can give ourselves a little bit more room, and now you guys can see what's going on as well. King. King is another one of those god tier units that removes special bind as well as special reverse. Changes adjacent orbs into matching as well. And just like Robin, something else I forgot to mention about Robin is Robin actually does despair removal, something that most people look over. The King actually does 2 turns of special charge, as well as removing the sound effects and removes burn as well. So very, very good rare recruit. Definitely limit break expand him. Amazing combinations. Queen, I really like this Queen, and for me, I'm going to put Queen in Limit Break Plus worthy, but you don't need to. Queen gets Ship Bind, but removes damage reduction and defense up by 3 turns, and is a chain locker. The fact that he's powerhouse and driven too just helps out significantly, and like, I use this Queen quite a lot, and that's why I want to say that Limit Break Plus worthy is where he needs to be, but you could easily argue to me that he's amazing, just like why I'm going to put Jack in amazing. You could easily argue that Jack's the same as Queen. Why would you not put Jack and Queen together? But Jack's combination of attack down and bind removal, like, just isn't as good. And the orb buff, as good as an orb buff is, you'd still need matching orbs. So there's also that. This Neptune, 3 turns of color affinity, like, it's pretty niche, I guess. But he also has that chain lock, chain coefficient thing that we were talking about before, which kind of makes him a little bit better. So I guess we'll put him in good. And also the fact that he's a cerebral powerhouse unit as well. This Leo, though, this Leo you're really only ever using as support for special cooldowns if you get special reversed. The cat-dog combination that came out with Roger, these 2 units right here. Look, you're never really using that combination, but you definitely can paralysis and attack down, which is quite nice. But it's only 4 turns, which is kind of, like, it's kind of dookie a little bit. But if you were going to put them anywhere, I guess you could, like, put them, like, I guess you could put them in, like, good or niche. But for me, like, there's so many other units that just do it better. Like, they just do it way better. The Crocus, though. Crocus can give overheal. You're mainly using Crocus for his support. He does remove burn as well. He does a lot of damage reduction, too, so I guess he's quite niche. And he's, like, the best Crocus in the game, so we got to put him somewhere. This Rayleigh, though, is very good. Rayleigh doesn't get too much representation in the game, but when they do a Rayleigh, they do a Rayleigh right. Like, there's no bad Rayleigh in the game. Like, I don't think there's a bad Rayleigh in the game. Or when the Rayleigh released, there was never a bad Rayleigh. Even V3 Rayleigh nowadays has, like, a lot of viability. So, I guess V3 Rayleigh is probably the big argument. But 5 turns of damage reduction, 5 turns of threshold, color affinity for strength and psi. Very, very good rare recruit. Very good. This, Kamizo removes defense up, as well as giving a 3 times chain lock, being a striker and driven unit. I think he does something else off the top of my head. I did use him not too long ago on Garb challenges. He does burn removal as well, and he does a 20% HP cut. So pretty good. 3 times chain lock is nothing to scoff at, especially on a rare recruit. Gukimaru, however, is pretty niche. He does paralysis, and I'm pretty sure he does attack down removal, but it's only for 3 turns, if I remember. He also has that same manipulation. Yeah, despair, attack down, paralysis by 3 turns. He also removes threshold by 5 turns, actually, as well, and then changes all slots into his slot. It's pretty niche. Like, you don't use, like, on paper, it sounds way better than it actually is. You use this guy, like, mainly for, like, Whitebeard challenge, like, Garb challenge, but, like, yeah, he's just, the 3 turns things lets him down, and the fact he's only threshold kind of lets him down as well. On to the Marine 4 batch. Now, the Marine 4 batch, they did this batch right. This is another really good batch. This, Jozu is amazing. He gives cooldowns, damage reduction. He has a strength powerhouse unit. He has a very, very, very good support as well. I actually went way too deep for this Jozu just to, like, never use him. But, he does a despair and attack down by 5 turns as well. Powerhouse and free fighter characters he gives, cooldowns to as well. He's amazing. Very, very good. This Luffy's very good as well. He does special bind removal, if I remember correctly, as well as, like, change your captain's orbs into matching. So very, very good for Ace. And he does a chain buff as well, which is awesome. I think he has paralysis removal as well, if I remember correctly. He's very, very good. This Kuzan, though, for me is amazing. I love this Kuzan. He's probably my favorite Kuzan in the game. He has he has amazing support for Akainu. Being a defense up threshold removal. He also removes 5 turns of defense up and threshold, and he does 2 times of attack boost to a shooter and free spirits as well. So very, very good rare recruit. Really, really good. Finally, the Sengoku. The Sengoku is sort of just good. His support is amazing, but like he's just good. He removes damage reduction, resilience, and does tap timing. The tap timing kind of sucks, but moving on to the Blackbeard batch now. Alvaro Pizarro, I guess you could say he's just niche. Mainly because he would... how do you spell his name? Pizarro. He removes attack down, and under Blackbeard he's quite good. He removes blind by 4 turns, and because he like can double driven and powerhouse characters slot effects and then get the attack boost under Blackbeard, you could argue that he's like better than niche, but like you're really only using him under Blackbeard because it's 4 turns. I don't like that new rare recruits have 4 turns of stuff. Like it's just like give them 5. Why not 5? Like what are you doing, Bandai? Oh, what have I done? Alright, on to Katarina Devon. However, Katarina Devon is good. She removes, pretty sure removes damage reduction and defense up. And she's an orb booster to driven and slasher units, which is a little bit better than powerhouse in my eyes. Mainly because most powerhouse units are powerhouse driven, so there's also that combination. She also does, something else. I was looking at her just before this video, and I cannot remember now. Defense up, oh, she removes, she does damage reduction on herself, as well as removing the, auto heal. So, pretty good rare recruit. She's not the best, but, like, she's still very, very good for Blackbeard. Onto the Bonnie batch. Now, the Bonnie batch, they did not do this right. The Apu is Dookie, and so is the X-Drake. The X-Drake does, like, 3 turns of paralysis and remove sound effects and stuff. He sucks. And the Apu is just garbage. But this Basil Hawkins, though, is actually pretty good. He's actually the only one that I have out of the batch. And he's actually pretty decent. So, I think he removes Despair, and I think he removes... Let's just quickly bring him up for you guys. He removes Despair, as well as Attack Down, as well as Threshold by 3 turns, as well as doubling crew slot effects if you've, like, healed over 10,000. So there's also that. Onto the Onigashima batch now. Another batch that they did very, very well. First, we're going to look at Killer. Killer is amazing. 5 turns of Despair, Paralysis, and he gives cooldowns, which is great. And he makes all colored orbs favorable, which is really good. And he has a 2-stage special, which is excellent. Very, very good rare recruit. The Zoro, however, I think is god tier. I really, really like the Zoro. Zoro is a orb booster, as well as special bind, as well as attack down. That combination is so good. It's so damn good. As well as being an orb booster, he's a Zoro unit. It's a crime that the black, like, Kimono, Zoro, and Enma is like a rare recruit, but look, it is what it is. Jinbei is amazing as well. Bind removal, threshold removal, he can heal, he's color affinity. I do think that, like, the Killer's the most replaceable out of the batch, but, like, the Jinbei is probably, like, the worst. But the Jinbei's cerebral, so, like, this makes him infinitely better. Where, these guys are both driven, which is good. So, really, really good. So, that's basically the tier list for global. Basically, what I think is sort of the best rare recruits. Now, if you skip to this part of the video, I will leave, like, a timestamp for you guys in the description so you can just sort of have a look at this as a whole. Now, as I mentioned at the start, if you don't see a unit on here, please let me know in the comment section below. I told you I would miss units, and unfortunately, that's going to happen as there are so many rare recruits in the game. But if you don't see a character on here and you're like, what about this rare recruit? Should I level this rare recruit up? No. They obviously didn't make the cut. So no. These particular characters here from very good upwards are the ones that I would focus on in terms of just straight up leveling. And then the sort of good to niche are sort of just like, well, I guess you could kind of level them up if you want to, or when the content requires you to do so. Honestly, I kind of want to put you in amazing. No, we'll leave you there. Oh, I kind of want to put you in. That's like very good, actually. Now I'm thinking about it, like Jinbei, like that combination for Jinbei is not that great. But when it works, it is very, very good. Very, very good. So this is what I think about the global at the moment in terms of rare recruits and stuff like that. Obviously, we would be looking at the God tier units to do first. Limit Break Plus. Some of these characters aren't amazing, but their Limit Break expansions are very good. I would look at doing Sengoku, I would look at doing Kaku, Stampede Nami. I guess like Queen you don't have to do. And Baccarat for Revolutionary Army 2. Honestly, I'm about to do this Treble. He's my next Limit Break expansion for rare recruits. He's the next one that I'm going to be doing. But other than that, the amazing tier, these are all very, very good rare recruits. They probably just don't need to be Limit Break expanded, or they don't have a Limit Break expansion. Very good are still like characters that you could definitely use. Especially like these three characters here. These three characters here, you could easily make an argument to put them in amazing. I kind of want to put them in amazing, but like, you know what? I'm going to put these three in amazing because I just think they're like miles better than these particular characters. In terms of like very good here though, can anyone sort of get a buff here from very good? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's pretty much, I think that's pretty spot on. I guess you could probably say like he's just very good. I guess you could say Karina's just very good. And I guess you could say, yeah, no, I feel like that's pretty spot on. Yeah, I feel like that's a bit better. Karina and they're definitely not as good as these three. I don't know what I was thinking when I was doing that, but now that I've had to like step back and had a look, I'm glad that I took the time. So I'm gonna slap on some tiers now, and we're gonna have a look at these particular characters down here. Give me 1 second. Alright, so we slapped on some tiers for the next batch of characters, and the only characters that are missing from here is like Black Maria, Husu, and Sasuke. I will talk about them, but obviously I just don't have a spot for them as they haven't been updated just yet. But the first character we're going to talk about is Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman's amazing. He came out with Whitebeard and Shanks, so the same with these other two characters. He can do a lot. He can be a 3x chain locker. He can rotate orbs. I'm pretty sure it's like orc orbs except for like block orbs and colored orbs. He completely removes the defense down immunity debuff, which is actually pretty good, very similar to Onami. But you do have to have 6 side characters, so that's kind of why he's just like amazing. I would kind of say he's good. I don't use him that much on JP compared to these other two. These other two are very, very good. If you have double special on Vista, he's a god tier unit. If not, he's just amazing. But if you have double special, he's god. 2 turns of defense up, 2 turns of damage reduction. He's very similar to Opera, where he gives an orb boost and then color affinity if you have an orb boost. Very, very good. Rockstar's great as well. He does attack down as well as despair removal. He does 2 turns of barrier removal as well, which is very, very good. Amazing rare recruit, as well as manipulating block orbs as well, which is great. This Luffy is kind of just good. He does bind and despair and resilience removal. He's at 2.75 times chain locker, and then he extends the chain lock by 0.25 if you have one. He's mainly was used for this particular Nami. This Nami is like a 4-turn chain locker. She can also give 2 turns of cooldown as well as 3 turns of special binds. So she has that kind of combination in her. Not as good though, but for that reason she's amazing, because like when you need like those little bit like those few turns, she's actually really good. The Chopper, however, he's just sort of good. He does burn, he does paralysis by 5 turns, and he can be color affinity for 4 turns as well. So these guys were built around the Treasure Map Sanji character, so they're sort of just built up for that. But nevertheless, they are fairly decent units. Moving on to Orochi and Kanjuro, though, these guys are just niche. These guys were designed for King and Queen, so their cooldowns are so damn high. Their level 2 specials are on like a 24-turn cooldown, and for what they do, it's really not that valuable. Kanjuro like gives you a full board of bomb orbs. Why? Orochi does recovery orbs, which is better, but like what they do is just not that great. Like Orochi does burn and like 2.25 times color affinity, which is just okay. But like color affinity is just not that great, and for 24 turns, not worth it. Kanjuro, however, does the chain coefficient reduction by 8 turns, which can be good, but it's still not that good. Even like when King and Queen came out, there was just better versions of them in like X-Drake and like some of these characters up here. So they're very niche. You don't need to level them up. Like honestly, like when they come out, don't even worry if you don't pull them. The Bello Betty, however, this Bello Betty is actually pretty good. She removes despair removal. She has despair removal, as well as being 3 turns of chain coefficient reduction. She also locks orbs and rotates them into strength and int. And I think she makes one of the matching for cerebral characters. So there's also that. This Koala, though, I love this Koala. This Koala's like, at worst case scenario, she's amazing. Despair and attack down removal, as well as being color affinity that she can carry over into the next stage. Very, very, very good unit. This Karku is minimum amazing. I want to sort of put him in God tier because he's got the bind and the attack down removal, very similar to Quick Karku. But he can also be an attack booster to Powerhouse, Slashes, and Dex. And if you have an attack boost, he can extend it by 0.25. So if you have like Roger, use like Roger special, and then you can extend it to a 3.25. It's actually really, really cool what you can do. The Stussy, however, she's definitely amazing. 5 turns of Threshold, 5 turns of damage reduction, and then she's a 1.0 chain boosting. That's really, really good with the new attack down chain coefficient reduction debuff that is on Japan. But if you already have a chain buff, she can extend that by like 0.2, I'm pretty sure it is. So if you use something like Kizaru, she works amazingly. The only characters that we are missing here are Who's Who, Black Maria, and Sasuke, the ones that came out with Yamato. Now, Black Maria, in my eyes, is a god tier unit. She does 5 turns of Special Bind, 5 turns of defense up and damage reduction, and she's color affinity to Driven and Cerebral units. Who's Who is a int-driven fighter. He does an attack boost, as well as adjacent orbs, and removes despair and paralysis. I would say he's probably amazing. And then Sasuke does Threshold and Resilience, as well as adjacent orbs, and he's an orb booster for driven powerhouses. I would say that he's probably amazing as well, just because like the 3 of them make their color orb matching for Driven and their other class. So on the Driven team, they just work so damn freaking well that I would say that like definitely Black Maria's god, and then the other 2 being amazing. So that's sort of where JP sits. But as you guys can see, if we sort of scroll up the top to the top of this list up here, this is kind of what we're working with when it comes to global. So, like I said, I will leave timestamps in the description, but if you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me, and if you're new to the channel too, hit that big red subscribe button. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later!